Welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Tom Fornelli. That's Bud Elliott. That's Danny Cannell. I'm Chip Patterson coming to you live at youtube.com/cover3 and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe, smash that like, and come and join us in the chat, a.k.a. the Cover 3 Tailgate, where they know that this show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. That's right. It's Thursday. It's 11 a.m. It's time to move some lines, y'all. It is time to take a look at our Week 6 locks card. But before we look ahead, we got to look back. Okay, let's get a quick review of everything that we had. Efforting on screen, I'll go ahead and start reading here. So for Week 5, you can't hide. You can't hide.
Oh, Danny had to go puke for a second there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tom's back. And happy birthday, Tom.
Thank you
for powering
through. Happy birthday.
Hey, Thomas.
Powering through on your flu game.
I heard I missed a banger yesterday.
It was an episode. Yeah,
It was an episode. It was an episode of the Cover 3 podcast, unlike many. All right. Bud last week went 6-5. The wins were Fresno UNLV over 48, Ohio State minus 23.5, Middle Memphis under 62. Also jumping in on that Texas Mississippi State under 63. Indiana, Maryland over 52.5, NC State minus 6.5. The losses were Oklahoma State, Kansas State under 55.5, the Colorado UCF under, then Illinois team total over 13.5, ODU team total under 20.5, and the Buffalo first quarter plus 0.5 point. The Huskies brought the wood to the Bulls. 6-5 for the season has Bud at 23-25 and 25. 6-5 for the week, 23-25 for the season. Thoughts on Week 5?
Yeah, did a luck box any wins? Not really. I don't think NC State was the right side after watching it. I mean, like they got lucky with basically 2 defensive touchdowns. So that's probably one I got away with. And the one, I mean, look, I'd bet Illinois team total over again, even though, I thought Penn State's defense played well. Buffalo, wrong side. They just got crushed. Colorado UCF, with what that closed, I would bet that again. So I'll take 6-5 every week if I can. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that was a lock fight loss to Tom Fornelli. Our lock fight records. Somebody in the tailgate was asking for them so far. Tom's got a 2-1 lead on Danny. Chip's got a 2-0 lead on Danny. Chip's got a 1-0 lead on Bud. Tom has a 1-0 lead on Bud, and Chip's got a 1-0 lead on Tom in the lock fights so far. My card from last week, fortunately, had to give a little back. Spraying the board bit me. The wins were Miami team total over 36.5. Lucky. Alabama first quarter pick. Never a doubt. UGA team total over 24 came home. UNLV minus 1.5. Clemson minus 21.5. The losses were the Oklahoma State, Kansas State under 55.5. The Louisville, Notre Dame under 45.5. The Alabama, Georgia first half under 24.5. Michigan minus 8.5. North Carolina, Duke over 55.5. LSU, South Al over 65. And then also took a loss on Oregon, UCLA. I would say that I was most frustrated with Michigan letting Minnesota back into the game. The way the game was playing out, it was one of those ones you thought you could put on the shelf and sort of direct your attention elsewhere. It's all right. It happens. It's a 60-minute ball game. 5-7 for the week drops me to 28-27 for the season. Danny Cannell, don't take yourself out. Don't take yourself out. You got to stand here, okay? Danny was 1-11. The win, Illinois, Penn State under 47.5. Let's go. Let's go. Clap it up. The losses were Army Temple under 48, Oklahoma State plus 5.5, Louisville plus 6.5, Auburn plus 2.5, Bama, Georgia first half under 24.5, Minnesota, Michigan under 36, Oklahoma, Auburn under 46.5, Clemson first half minus 13.5, Florida State plus 6.5, LSU, South Al over 65, and Baylor minus 3. 1-11 for the week drops Danny to 17-36 for the season.
Did I at least make history? because I think I've seen 2-9 here on the Locks Pod for a weekly record. I don't think I've ever seen anything this bad.
I went 1-11 in week 1 last year.
You did.
That's why I killed my dog.
That's why he sacrificed his dog. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look out, Bowden.
Bowden's in trouble. I got to do what I got to do. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little rattled. I'm a little shook. I feel like DJU after the 3rd interception, when you just see the look. I always reference quarterback's eyes. They get deer. I have it right now. I wish you got, my little scratch pad that I write down my picks. You should see how many are crossed out where I was like, oh, I don't know. Should I do it or not? Like the indecision that is there right now. I really hope, because there are a lot of trolls in here who say they fade me. I hope you guys crushed it. Because if you did, you guys would be very wealthy. And I hope you do.
And I do think the chat mentions it. Chip, didn't you go winless like that 1 week at the end of the season and you had the lead in the comp and then Barton ended up winning?
So quick refresher. It's the end of the 2022 season. I had the lead. I was going pretty strong at one point after week 8, like 16 games above 500. The final 3 weeks of the competition were 2-7, 0-9, 0-9. So back-to-back 0-9 records. Got COVID in the middle of that. Had to cancel Thanksgiving with the family. It was a hell of a run. It was a hell of a run. Like my youngest was 7 months old, I guess, at the time too. So you're dealing with like 2-year-old and a 7-month-old. I mean, it was an our pets' heads are falling off run for me. 2-7, 0-9, 0-9 goes out the 2022 year and give back everything that I had. It was memorable for sure, as the tailgate clearly remembers.
All right, let's get to this week's picks.
Yeah.
Like
no, Tom. What'd you say, bud?
I'm saying like some of these sides for Danny were pretty good sides. That I think you'd fire again if you get the chance to.
We'll see.
Oklahoma Auburn, the late
was all day.
Yeah, that one was really painful.
Baylor actually came back and made it interesting, but they just gave up 3 touchdowns early. It was all of a sudden it was over before it started.
You gotta live with that. You bet on Baylor.
I'd fire Louisville again.
Yeah,
for sure.
Louisville just had some tough ball control, ball security issues. They got to tighten that up, especially with the big one on deck. We'll see if there's a lock. All right,
if
Tom.
you do this long enough, like you'll get on a run where like positive or negative. I went on like a 3-week stretch last week or last year where like my best stuff, I don't think I won a single game that was decided by a single score for like 3 weeks in a row. It was like, I think I'm just cursed.
That's what I need.
All right
now,
Tom, 3-7 for the week. The wins were Alabama +2.5, Colorado UCF over 64.5, and Ohio State -23.5. The losses included Louisville Notre Dame under 45.5, Central Michigan -2.5, Minnesota Michigan under 36, Wisconsin team total under 17.5, Kent State team total under 14.5, Old Dominion Bowling Green under 51.5, and the Air Force Wyoming under 34.
Yeah. And every week I've been on here and I've been saying I wouldn't change anything. I've been getting a lot of crap. I would make all those picks again, because if you look at my results, I got muffed punted to death in the Central Michigan San Diego State game. Central Michigan muffs a punt. San Diego State gets a 16-yard touchdown drive out of it. Central Michigan ends up winning by 1. Minnesota, Michigan, there were touchdown drives of 11, 13, and 16 yards. I lose my under. Wisconsin team total under 17.5. A muffed punt by USC results in a 16-yard touchdown drive for the Badgers. They finish with 21 points. That's how close I am from being 3-7 to 6-4. Muffed punts. It's variance. I wouldn't change any of my picks. This is the worst run I can remember being on in a very long time. I'm not changing a damn thing. I'm just hoping it turns around.
That is one read of it, Tom. I see that you played around in the sewer and you came back with the stomach virus. I mean, I see a lot of sicko stuff on here, and but listen, your immune system will be stronger. Congratulations.
I lost, like the one sicko vote. I lost the under in Bowling Green Old Dominion because for some reason Bowling Green decided not to play defense on Old Dominion's final possession of the game and let them come back to win the game. They just let them walk down the field on them.
Amazing stuff. All right,
Where'd Danny go?
Where'd Danny go? Let's get that out of here. Oh, yeah, he's coming
I
back.
will say Central Michigan might have something going on with special teams because they also muffed 2 kickoffs against Ball State.
Bud, your allegation is much more than something going on with special teams, if I remember correct. Hey, let's have some fun around here.
No, I just think they're really bad at special teams. Nothing nefarious, of course. Just
nothing nefarious, but it's
like,
just a lot of the
I
hidden
don't know
yards.
who's muffing 2 kickoffs in a row to start the Ball State game, but actually I do. Central Michigan.
Hey, listen, that's
the
where you
sun
find
was in their eyes.
the hidden
so.
yards, you know, the hidden yards, hidden points. That's how it happens. Okay, we're gonna get that out of here. We're gonna turn our attention ahead. So I say, gentlemen, y'all ready to lock it up?
Do this thing.
Sure.
Since 2005, the under in games between service academies is 40-9-1.
We're picking locks.
Give me an over in this one as well. A little 2-for-1 special.
Don't get these locks.
I was a sicko last week. Y'all were watching the good games. I was live betting the hell out of ULM, Kentucky.
My blue plate special 5-star locks are coming.
5-star master lock. Lock it
You
up.
want these locks.
I'm living and dying every point, every cover.
From the locking chair to your eyes and ears, we begin as always with them early birds, all the weeknight action on Thursday and Friday. Let's start on Thursday. We got 2 games, and one would be Texas State at Troy. That'll be 7 p.m. on ESPN2. The other one on the mothership, Sam Houston at UTEP. Who's got a lock?
I got 2.
Oh, okay. You go first.
All right. Do we want to just start the show sicko? Like, are these games sicko?
Well, sir, I mean, normally I don't dance at the beginning, but
It's time for sicko mode. Let's go. I'm a little bit lower on some of the teams in the bottom of the Sun Belt. If things go wrong, they could be like UMass UConn. That's kind of like sicko mode of a sicko mode.
All right. So the first one, I am going to bet Texas State and lay. What can I lay here?
13.5.
13.5.
Yeah, 13.5 is probably the best one I can get there. All right. I'm going to lay 13.5 at Troy. Now, emotionally, this could be a tough game for Texas State to get off the mat for. They had that crushing loss to Sam Houston when they were up 22-0 in the first quarter and blew it. I get that from that standpoint. But I don't think Troy has faced a decent offense really at all this year. They have faced like Iowa, ULM. Have they faced anybody high-powered? I don't really know that this Troy defense is all that good. The other thing is their starting quarterback was carted off. A couple 13s in the chat. I'll lay 13. Shoot. We're doing a show on Thursday. Give me that best number. The starting quarterback for Troy was carted off. So they haven't officially announced that he's out. But I don't really have a strong track record in my database of guys who were carted off, like coming back and playing on a Thursday ball game. And so my thought is generally like, okay, if you're playing a Thursday game, how many days of practice do you really get? Like you get like kind of 2 real days of practice. Is Troy really up to defend an offense that I think can roll out of bed and score? Like certainly some concerns for Texas State not being able to stop the Troy run game. But to me, this is one that I think can pretty quickly get game scripted out for Troy. And I don't like Troy in negative game scripting situations. You know, I'm also conscious that like certain coaches are trying for like could be getting some jobs. And if I'm Kenny, I'm running up every single game because I want to have an offense that sells tickets so athletic directors can go for it. So I'm going to bet Texas State here. Obviously, like some people like the Troy side because this was 15 earlier in the week. There is some Instagram intel on this, by the way. Got the Instagram intel. So it appears that the backup court, because there's some debate as to whether the second or third string quarterback is going to play. For Tucker Kilcrease's either friend or girlfriend, she posted, "Happy game day, big hugs for my number 10. Good luck. I love you." So, like, does the backup quarterback usually get wished good luck? Maybe it is Kilcrease starting. Do I care? No, I don't really think there's a huge difference between the second and third string quarterback, but I just thought that was interesting.
Or he just has a really thoughtful girlfriend.
That's true. Maybe
Loves him.
Yeah.
She supports him no matter what.
Okay.
Hey, listen, you always
Lock agreement.
Whoa, okay.
It's my Twitter. It's my Twitter tip of the day. I bet it earlier this week when it was at 14, so it's down to 13 now. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. I just, yeah, most of the same reasons. Bud told me Troy's quarterback died, so I was like, all right, I'm going to take Texas State on Thursday. That was pretty much the thought process.
You know, you prepare as a quarterback. Like every game is going to be you're going to be a starter, and that includes having your girlfriend wish you good luck. You know, prepare every game. All right. So what's your second one? Because I'm very curious because I'm very curious.
It is far sicker. Far sicker.
No, well, just you can go. We might fight this, or we might be in agreement on this. Unless where are you going?
We are going to go to El Paso.
Yep.
CBS Sports Network game. Taylor McCarg on the call, who did our West Coast or our Mountain West preview for this one. I'm going to bet first half over in this game at over 24.5. You know, I don't know how focused Sam Houston's going to be for this one coming out after that big win over Texas State. UTEP's off a bye. They run a bunch of different like crazy formations. I wonder if they can steal a score here early in the ball game, maybe off not trick stuff, but just, you know, off something. And I like first half over there.
Okay, so I thought that you were just going to join all the rest of your cronies that have just been hammering UTEP because of situational spots, just because of your like, look, fade the team off the big win, fade the team off the bye. This is going to be it. Well, you know what situational spots don't account for? Bad football teams. All right. They don't account for good football teams. Do I still have a 9.5 on the board?
I kind of doubt it, but we can check
doubt it. Yeah, I see 10.
Do you want me to like fake it for you? See if I can fake.
No.
I see mostly 10.5. So there's a 10 there, a couple 10s.
All right, I'll go ahead and grab the 10 because listen, there are still 10 players on this Sam Houston team with national championship rings. They have had to like really, really dig in to identify the right personnel. They have some kind of depth that a lot of Conference USA teams wish that they had. Is there a possibility for a letdown after that huge comeback win? Absolutely. But am I going to think that UTEP is going to be the team to get it done over the course of 4 quarters? I do not. So give me Bearcats with a K. I'll lay the 10.
Bud's pick is smarter because he can go to bed before 11.
Correct.
True.
Sleepy Time Tea Day.
Hey,
we should get a Sleepy Time Tea sponsor on the show.
Mason in the tailgate says I might be able to get 9.5.
If Bud can find one,
I can get that in my state.
There will be no Sleepy Time tea for me, as I'll be doing a little inside college football after the game's finished.
After this game.
So make sure you guys all stay up late and support your boy.
Bro, that's a bad draw. I mean, like, because it is not that Sam Houston runs fast, but UTEP runs really fast.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. I'm going to bed.
I mean, listen, when you go and you find Hunter Watson at Iowa Western Community College and realize that that's going to be your dual threat quarterback of the 2024 season. I mean, KC Keeler, I mean, the man's been there for a decade. Come on. This is preposterous. See, because it's been dropping, right? I mean, this thing was like 13 at the beginning of the week, just lower. Come on.
Yeah, it opened the main place that puts out like openers that you can bet like big money on opened at 12. And I think a couple of others followed. So yeah, it's been bet down. It was 9.5 yesterday, a little bit.
I'll see if the halftime of our game, we won a lot of points. I'll see if I can get a little shout out if we get a fireworks in the first half.
That first half is over.
27-10. Let's go.
And that matters to some people, like on the Cover 3 podcast.
Both will get plugs in and everything. Let's go.
All right, Friday's action. We've got on CBS Sports Network, Jacksonville State at Kennesaw State, Houston at TCU, and Michigan State at Oregon, and then Syracuse at UNLV. Who's got a lock?
Play that music again. We got it. Sicko here.
Play that music.
Time for sicko mode. Let's go. I'm a little bit lower on some of the teams in the bottom of the Sun Belt. If things go wrong, they could be like UMass-UConn. That's kind of like sicko mode of a sicko mode.
Can any of you tell me when the last time Houston scored a touchdown?
Oh, you're doing sicko mode for Houston TCU?
Yes. Houston last scored a touchdown in a game, I believe. What date was this? September 14th in the third quarter against Rice.
Wow.
So we're running about 9 quarters here of no touchdowns, and in fact, back-to-back shutout losses. So not the best. Like Cincinnati's defense, as much as like we like the revamped staff they built, given that they have no scholarship defensive linemen left, it is a little bit concerning to me that they didn't score any points there in that one, considering Texas Tech basically ran through them like they were only playing 4 guys on the field. I'm going to bet Houston over 16.5 team total. It's just a belief in matchups. Okay. Like it's Willie Fritz. Can you get me some QB run game going? Like TCU's defense is pretty bad. TCU can't run the ball at all. So they probably can't slow down in this game. TCU's a little sloppy with the ball. Houston's defense is able to kind of like get turnovers sometimes. Like they kept them in that ball game with Iowa State for a little while. Like obviously they didn't win the ball game because they got shut out. So it is like my database shows it is hard to win if you don't score any points. And I don't think Houston's going to win this game because TCU's offense is legitimately good. But I think Houston can get to 17 here. So give me that over 16.5. That's my final sicko of the day.
2 things. First, Chip, please don't make
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
And 2, this isn't a lock fight, but it's kind of a lock fight. I'm on the under 51.5. Like I think if you watch Houston and what they've been doing, like they know their offense sucks or their defense stinks. And they're very much playing a really slow, let's just keep this close kind of thing, or at least they're attempting to. They haven't really been able to because they can't score any points. But I just think Houston's moving very, very slowly. I think that TCU might just, get a lead here and maybe just try to sit on it in the second half because they think they're a better team. So I'm taking the under 51.5.
Yeah, this is Houston is a 2002 Big Ten team right now. Right?
I think they're averaging like 115 snaps a game right now or something in that range.
Tom,
Like the only team that's lower is Kentucky because they only played a half of one game.
do you want company? I'm so shook right now. Like I don't know.
No, come on, jump on board.
Let's go. Let the children sing.
All right.
We're gonna get through this together.
Yeah, we are. That's what friends are for. We're here for support. I liked it already. It was on my sheet. Lock it up.
How much worse is Rice defense than TCU's defense? Like not much.
Not much.
All right, one more from Friday night, then we'll hit a break and we'll get a visit from Ken's. I'm gonna go Syracuse UNLV over 58.5. I don't think Syracuse has the defense to get consistent stops against Haj Malik Williams and sort of like what we saw from UNLV. I don't think Fresno's defense is what's the difference between Fresno's defense and Syracuse's defense? Is it levels? Is it multiple tiers?
Fresno is better at defensive back than Cuse is, I think.
I think in the wash, we're talking about somewhat similar. But I also think that we're dealing with a significant upgrade from what Mikey Keene and the Bulldogs have versus Syracuse coming into this spot, playing indoors, fast track, Kyle McCord, Aronde Gadsden, LaQuint Allen. I can see a lot of touchdowns, a back and forth game. We talked about this earlier, like what number would you take Syracuse at? And I think any time that you're considering taking Syracuse as the dog is because you think they're going to score points. I would prefer to take the over here and root for touchdowns.
Have you thought about first half over here? Just on game script? Like UNLV wants to run for sure. If Cuse gets up, it probably forces UNLV into more of like a passing script, If UNLV gets up, I mean, like Syracuse got after that ass in pass protection, man. Like I'm a little concerned about Stanford being able to do that to Syracuse. So I don't know. I thought about first half over here actually. So like we're not dissimilar. Yeah.
You gonna lock it up?
No, I because I'm trying to catch you, and they're too related.
My only concern here is that this could be one of those situations where Fresno had no idea what UNLV's offense was going to look like last week. now teams have seen what the offense is going to look like, because the offense with Haj Malik Williams is different than it's going to be with Matt Sluka.
Can I jump in and give a lock on the Florida State game before this runs out?
Sure.
all of our live listeners, this is going to get bet. I'm looking at the patterns now. I'm betting this myself. Under 24 first half. If you're watching live, go get it, because I think this is going to be under first half.
All right.
It's getting hit right now.
So Clemson FSU first half under 24.
Yes. Yeah. That's for the live viewers. If you're on audio only, I'm sorry, because I don't know that's going to last.
Coming up on the other side, we turn the page to Saturday, beginning with visit from Mackenzie Brooks. All that and more next.
CBS Sports HQ, giving you college football coverage unlike anyone else.
We're talking Big Ten.
Pre- and post-game coverage.
Are you encouraged with the way that this team responded?
Along with breaking news.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
Highlights and expert analysis.
That streak could be in jeopardy here.
Sure. What was your main takeaway from this game? How impressive was his domination?
That really changed the football game.
Let's go ahead and have some more fun.
Another wild ending.
The chaos continues.
Turn to CBS Sports HQ.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, joined by Mackenzie Brooks for her weekly check-in. Kens, we got you at 2-1 for your Cover 3 contributions. We did check the tape. You get the Texas A&M money line, so that has you at just up 0.45 units on 2-1. So where are we going this week?
Well, I want to start with Bud. I actually have the same play. That's not my play for this, but I do agree with that play. That is on the list for Saturday. Danny, don't start just copying my picks just because you want to go above 500, but I put that one out there. The pick this weekend, we're laying it with Tennessee, 13.5. We make it a 16-point game. This Arkansas team is one of the most self-destructive football teams I have seen in a very long time. They're averaging twice as many turnovers as Tennessee. And this Tennessee defense, we don't talk about enough because of Nico. But they are forcing turnovers as well. And optimistically, that's like 2 more possessions, 2 more scoring possessions for Tennessee, just based off Arkansas and their self-destructing ways. And then I think you have Nico, who's actually going to play 4 quarters of strong football. Like, Arkansas is just good enough that he won't really be letting his foot off the gas here. So what do you guys think of that?
I love that you just targeted a fade Arkansas position. Like, this is now your campaign. You know, as
it's
you're
the most fraudulent team in football. Like, I mean, you see them just crumble. It's terrible. Anyway.
Lock agreement again. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I've been saying, like, Arkansas is a team that if it's within a touchdown spread, I think they can hang and pull off the upset. If it's against any team they're outside of a touchdown against, they're going to get destroyed.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking. And I like you under.
Anything else you're sniffing around or looking at? If you what else is on the list?
I'm on that Vols too.
I mean, I guess we got to play it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Yes.
One other play I almost took, because this team killed me the first time I was on here, was Missouri money line. I think they come out a lot stronger. Their returning production in general is just so much better. And Texas A&M, like, defensively, quote unquote, held back Arkansas. This is really just another way of me fading Arkansas and not being good. And Texas A&M beating Arkansas is like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's a good plus money play, I believe.
If you think about it, the Vols have faced backup quarterbacks for 6 of the last 8 quarters because Auburn screwed around and played whatever the kid, Brown. Right. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Reed, although we don't think he's a huge drop off from Wegman, was also like they got him. So yeah. And they also faced Alan Bowman, who's been playing like a backup the entire year, and they lost to him. So
Ken's has our first money line sprinkle.
Yeah. Is that what this is now? That's my money line sprinkle.
If you're picking the underdog to win outright.
You're picking the underdog to win outright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the sprinkle.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm in.
All right. Awesome.
This is such an interactive show. Wow. With all of your sounds and gadgets. This is so exciting.
Where you been? Come on. It's been the same thing. Mackenzie Brooks. You can follow her on Twitter at Ken's Brooks Bets. You can see her just cooking Danny all morning on CBS
Who
Sports
isn't at this
HQ.
point?
Huh?
Who isn't cooking me right now?
You gotta let's see what's the lineup for this week.
It's us, and we have Darius Butler plus Damian Harris, and Jordan's be with us as always. Ken's, we'll have some fun.
Awesome, good stuff. Thank you, Kens. I appreciate it. Sorry if we made you late for your meeting.
No worries.
Yeah, screw it.
Priority.
Yeah, priority. Let's go. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So as we turn our attention, I'll take the 2.5. By the way, with Missouri as we look at the big games, there are results, especially if you think this game might be decided in the 20s. You know, there are results where I'll take the 2.5. So I'll go ahead and I'll get Missouri plus the 2.5 against Texas A&M. I pulled this one out earlier. Missouri needs. What did we say, Danny? A cold plunge.
Yeah.
I think Missouri got too comfortable. You know, they've had this long homestand to start the year. They've had these slow, sleepy starts. And if you go back last year on the road, 4-0 against the spread, Alpha Nerd kind of had them going. They played Georgia competitively. They beat Kentucky as a short dog. Take it all the way back to the start of the year before. This is 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 for Missouri. So, I mean, like road tiger, maybe not a road dog, maybe a road tiger. Just wow. Like I kind of feel like
What was that?
Was that a Donald Duck tiger?
I was gonna say, is Donald Duck choking right now? What's happening over there?
I don't know. We tried it. Yeah, they're taking a lot of shots. I'll go Missouri plus the 2.5.
I've got a play in this game as well, but it is not on the spread. I am taking the under 48.5. I just think that we talked about it with Gabe on yesterday's show from the bits and pieces I remember. Just like Mizzou's offense to this point has had difficulty getting explosives. Texas A&M's defense does a very good job of containing the explosives. And then on the other side, Texas A&M, I think their offense has been better. But I don't know matchup-wise if this is something I'm ultra concerned about against the Mizzou defense. So I think this is going to be not exactly like the Notre Dame game, but I don't think it's going to look all that dissimilar. So give me the under 48.5.
Are you not worried about the mole?
Oh, Marcel Reed's
No, I had it checked.
Yeah. I mean, are you not worried that she's out there just taking video and taking notes when she's not allowed to watch practice? Are you not worried that Brady Cook has woken up the 12th man by saying it's louder at practice, and Mike Elko's out there challenging the 12th man? I think Mizzou is fraudulent.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm going with what we saw against Vanderbilt, and I know it's the SEC, so every team is just a juggernaut that comes in. But we did see a team from the ACC who I've been told is garbage by all these SEC fans. I saw Boston College come in there and put up a pretty good fight. Give me A&M, lay the 2.
Oh, yes.
Fight.
Yes.
Fight.
I think there's 1.5 out there, Danny.
Oh,
yeah,
even better.
1.5, dude.
That's at the time when I wrote this down.
Oh, we're going to middle this.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Except for Ken's. She's
A&M wins by 2.
Except for Ken's, who was on the money line. No, I did imagine some there's a 28-27. You know, like there's
for sure.
There are 100% results. The way that Texas A&M operates its business, I'll take those 2.5 for sure.
I won't do it to you, Tom. This was a 2-for-1 special with the under. Don't want it.
Do it.
You've got to be confident, man.
All right, then I'll do it. Dang it. It's on the board. Let's go.
So you basically love Missouri team total under 23.5 then.
Sure.
Like that's kind of where, like when I bet my team totals, it's like small edge to the over, small edge to the side. It's like, okay, with our powers combined, like Captain Planet style, we get a team total.
So are you taking the Mizzou team total?
I'm not.
But
no, I'm just saying like
okay.
I'm guessing since Danny likes both side and total, he probably really, really loves the team total.
Yes.
I'm applying logic to the locks, which is not always something we should do on this show. But
I'm sorry, what's that?
I like lock fights simply because
out and making picks on Instagram.
I like lock fights simply because at least one of us gets to win that way. So Danny and one of our records is going to improve because of this game, whether or not, no matter what the result is. We should fight on every lock. It's the only way to save ourselves.
So let's see. Currently, let's see what our Danny Tom lock fight is.
I am on under as well. I'm sorry. Did you guys make that up? Did I say over? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said
I'm
under.
on under.
Yeah,
I'm
we
on
both.
under.
Okay, well, now we're both going to lose. Way to go.
Yeah, you said under. That's why the children say.
I'm under.
Yeah, you were afraid of jumping on board and being an anchor.
I don't want to jinx anybody.
I messed
Nervous.
up. My bad.
All right. Also at noon Eastern time, that game is on at noon Eastern time. America will be watching America's Most Watched Network, the network of stars, CBS. You can stream it on Paramount Plus as Navy heads on up to Colorado to go take on Air Force. Navy, one of our great surprises of the season. Air Force reeling a little bit. That's why we got ourselves a big old spread out there, 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, somewhere around double digits. Are we under 35? What's our current read on our total? And does anybody want to do the patriotic thing today?
It got bet over this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It was like sitting 35.5.
Right?
Now it's 37.
Yeah.
Now it's 37?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be shocked to learn I have a play on this game.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I don't know if you guys have heard, but since 2005, when service academies play, the under is 46, 10, and 1. That's right. 46, 10, and 1. Some people will tell you it's 45, 10, and 2, but that's if they got a bad number last year. If you got the 8.5 in the Army-Navy game, it wasn't a push for you. So I'm going with 46, 10, and 1. Now, I said this all last year, and it is still true this year. It's not just because Navy can throw the football. This trend is going to die soon. Like, the totals for college football across the board are dropping. The totals for this game in particular have been dropping the last few years. It wasn't that long ago you could get this game in the low 50s. All right, now we're in the mid 30s. So it's going to come to an end soon, but I am riding this horse until she dies. So Navy, Air Force, under 37.
I'm not going to lock up the total. I'm going to do my part personally. You know, what I do privately for America, I don't need to share with everybody. All right. You know, that's why we go into voting booths and stuff. But I will
rigging elections, apparently.
I will very publicly lay these points with Navy. I understand it's a rivalry, and I understand they got to go on the road and play with the elements and the altitude. I just think Navy is a good football team. I think that they not only have been able to elevate the offense in ways that we've talked about before, but man, they're rock solid. I love being able to get them under 10. So yeah, I'll lay the 9.5 with Navy.
Yeah, a couple 9.5s out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good one, but I'm a little concerned about, like, is Navy as good against a team that knows how to defend the triple? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to get margin in a game that is like this low of a total. The other reason, Tom, why these unders will soon die is that, like, Army and Navy apparently have quarterbacks who can throw the football, which is an important change when betting these.
Navy is now running the air raid.
I'll pass. I got to catch Chip. I would not take Air Force at 9.5, obviously.
No. I mean, that's the thing is, like,
there are 10.5s out there.
A 10-point win in this game is a blowout. And that's kind of what I think we're going to, like, I think Navy's just going to have the upper hand for most of the game. I mean, let's see. Baylor ran absolutely all over Air Force. I mean, shoot, even Wyoming ran for $173 at 4.2 a pop, and Wyoming's not great.
If you guys want something that is really sick in this game, and I'm looking to see if I think it got bet, so like we can't really bet it anymore, but it is pretty funny to share if I could find this. Where are we at? The Air Force, Navy. Yeah, it already got bet.
Air Force
Navy correct score first quarter 7-0. It was like plus 550, I think. That was at FanDuel. It already got bet.
They just announced Thomas Castellanos is playing if you want to get Boston College before that line moves.
Yeah. They'll be the favorite at close.
I think so, but I'm not going to bet it because I'm going to wait until
also
Daisy King's getting points at home.
Yeah, the Virginia's kind of laying in the tall grass right now.
They got a little healthier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not throwing that as a lock, but I do have Boston College UVA as a notepad game for sure for both those teams. Good information get moving forward. Okay. Doubleheader on CBS after we get done with Navy Air Force. I assume we'll have an hour and a half of studio time. Since the game will be 2.5 hours, and then we'll have 3:30.
10-7 score.
Yeah, I mean, but look, at least we've got one of the best studios in the business to be able to keep you set all the way through, leading up to Iowa at Ohio State, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Big time on CBS. So, Ohio State and Iowa, who's got a lock?
I do.
Me too.
Me too.
You guys playing it?
Nope.
Hell yes. Ohio State -19.
It's a good pick.
Iowa can't score enough points.
I think they.
You're riding with me, Danny?
Yeah.
There we go.
Bowden is too.
What are the implied team totals here? Like 30. It's like what? 32.5, 12.5, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And see, bud, that's kind of what I was looking at too.
Okay.
Because I'm going over. We still got 45, please? Or
Yeah, I can get you a 44.5.
44.5. That's what I was looking
that
for.
chip line value if you want it, though.
Yeah, I think Iowa can get us to 14-17. You know, like I think that we can get enough to be able to get it up in that range. And it kind of feels like with the way that we were discussing this with Chris Hassel, Iowa's defense.
Oh, okay. Now I know why you're confident in Iowa, because Chris Hassel told you to.
No. Chris
actually is very down. He's Debbie Downer.
No, he made the point about how Iowa's defense has been giving up explosive plays in ways that they have not in the past. That if you want to know why Iowa overs are 4-0 on the season, it is twofold. It is not just about the offensive changes, the way that Caleb Johnson has been running, and the creative ways that they've been trying to create open space for him. I know, stunner in modern football, you create open space for your best skill player, but it is also because the defense has regressed a little bit, especially when it comes to allowing those explosive plays. And if you have a vulnerability to explosive plays, hello, Jeremiah Smith, hello, Emeka Ibuka, hello, Quinshon Judkins. I see Ohio State, even if it's not on a down-to-down basis, I see Ohio State springing too many big plays where they're going to be able to get us, flirting with mid-30s to 40. And I think that Iowa can get us the rest of the way.
But here's why, if that's your analysis, I would rather just take Ohio State. Because if Ohio State gets out ahead and Iowa has to start passing, how confident are you that Iowa's going to be able to throw the ball well enough against Ohio State to score points?
Extremely, but to Ohio State to have Ohio State score the points.
Yeah, this could be a great. All right, that's fair. I would make
you could be game scripted out of this one fast.
Okay, I'm gonna stand by it.
I worry. Cade McNamara against the two Power 4 opponents has thrown for 99 yards and 62 yards. Caleb Johnson has been awesome, but he's going to need some help in this game, and I don't think he gets it. Ohio State has just been. What'll be interesting is what type of game does Ohio State play? Do they open it all up, or are they saving something? Do they need to open it all up, or do they save something for the game against Oregon next week? I think we'll get their best version. I think it's ugly.
Right.
Yeah, I'm laying it.
Okay. All right. So wait, hold on. Is that 3? Are we going? Is that it?
No, it's just Danny and I are lock agreement.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Brothers in arms this week.
Danny and I are going to have the bounce back of the century this week. We will be winning by the end of week 7. The way we're
holding hands together.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. All right. Then into the primetime slate. We already had one play on the first half under 24 in Clemson, Florida State. That's a lock. Any other plays on the Noles and the Tigers?
If you want to bet over, I think now is probably the time to do it since it just moved under. I don't know. We might be bottomed here overall.
You mean on the full game total?
Yeah, like I don't think this is going to close 45. Like right now we're sitting 46.5 type thing. So that's just my opinion on the market.
That was the play that I liked, but I'm not touching this game. I don't want to put any more stink on Florida State. It's just sad. I was surprised the number was only 2 touchdowns. So like I guess I would say Clemson, who's averaging 55 points a game since that Georgia game, but I don't know. I hopefully you get Florida State's best effort, which I do think you will. I think that defense will be playing hard. I think there was definitely, and I'm curious to see what Brock Glenn does. There's an unknown factor here, and too, what can they scheme him up a little more QB run? You know, so you not turn it over.
Be hard to be worse.
What's that?
Be hard to be worse.
Right.
It's possible, but
I'm fine. I don't plan to have any hard-earned dollars on this game. No.
Should we put a bet on the ratings? Let's go ratings.
Let's
Bonanza
go.
right
Time
here.
slot
Ratings.
champs. Time slot champs.
I mean, we got some time slot like unopposed this week. If you look at this,
Yeah,
it's there's some games that are a little worse. I think, and we got people will watch Michigan, Washington, but like I think Texas Tech, Arizona is a good game. I don't know how many people are going to watch that. You know,
what happens is you've got the still on at the sports bar time slot. Like someone has to ask to change to NBC. ESPN's just on, you know.
I'll have Peacock here.
Yeah.
You know, man, if you say this whole slate stinks, this ain't the chat for you. Like Cover 3 people, we're whole hog here.
I know, I've got more plays this week than I have any other
We
week
are
this
whole
season.
hog.
We do have to have. I forgot to bring the drill up to my office, so we do need to go dentist.
Is he have a Florida State Clemson play?
He does not. Well, the word I said yesterday on the show that Mikey had to beep, so I'm not going to make him edit the show again. Ole Miss threw a wrench in their own plans, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out if this was an unfortunate mix of bad effort and bad luck, or if the Rebels are just not as good as we thought with an injured offensive line, poor run game, and leaky and heavily penalized secondary. While the coaches and players are trying to convince everyone that the loss to UK was a one-off, I'm not so convinced. I'll need to see it to believe it moving forward. I thought about buying in and taking the Rebs here, hoping for a much better effort and the offensive explosion this weekend. But I left my side dentist, but my left side dentist brain won't let me. No, instead I'm going heavy with an emotional hedge. So we thought about betting Ole Miss, and now he's going to go heavy on the other side here. I'm going heavy with emotional hedge. Give me South Carolina plus 9.5. He wants to buy to 10. I'm just going to stop, like, loop in and say that's a terrible idea. Like, books know what the numbers are valued, and really, unless you have a book that misprices this, which I doubt, it's never a good idea to buy that. Oh, maybe he's got some derivative stuff, so he wants to buy to 10, which we're not going to put juice in.
We're giving him 9.5.
We're just going to give him the dog, I think, and make the best call on this. So he can get the 9.5 there. I'll gladly pay to lose this because he's an Ole Miss fan. All right, 2 more, please. I'm riding with the balls until the train comes off the rails. If I have to listen to these people, I'm at least going to profit from it. UT minus 13.5. So remember, he's in Nashville. Auburn, and finally, Auburn first half plus 14. UGA halftime scores are 6-0, 3-6, 7-30 for a combined 16-36. Auburn is a pretty good defense, and Hugh Freeze knows how to attack a Kirby Smart defense. So I think they can hang in there early, but I want no part of Auburn in the second half of this game, as UGA is 65-20 in the second halves against FBS teams in those games. So tooth emoji, lock emoji.
We'll say for our listeners, the dentist is 2-3 in games involving Ole Miss and 4-0 in everything else.
Wow.
I am.
That's a winning record.
Couple logs to throw on the fire to some of those games. So we've already gotten, Ken's being in on Tennessee, picked up a couple of agreements, got themselves a unity. I'm just going to be doing the Tennessee minus 3.5 in the first quarter. Back to the well on that one. Yeah. And I will be doing the Georgia. I can't quit. I will be doing the Georgia first half under 27.5. Georgia Auburn.
What was the number?
27
Under
and a half.
27 for Georgia Auburn, or 27 and a half. Yeah. I can't even find that game. What number is that? Oh, 321. Yep. Chip, there's 28s out there.
Oh, ho, ho, let's
No.
go.
He wants that. He wants that. Chip
No.
on
I'll
value.
take. Yeah. I'm gonna take it.
Value.
He's just too confident.
What
can we get here?
See what price I was over here.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I mean, I locks is obviously the number one priority. That's all right. Minus 106. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, while we're on the subject, I am also got to play in the Ole Miss South Carolina game. I'm on the under 52.5. Just think South Carolina's defense, particularly the defensive line, is pretty good for an Ole Miss team that the dentist mentioned has some problems on the offensive line right now. That could cause some problems for them. I think Ole Miss is going to win this game, although I thought they were going to beat Kentucky too. So who knows? But I just think that this is going to be a lower scoring kind of sluggish affair. So give me that.
And let's do one more of the sort of headliners. It is that Michigan-Washington game. All right, who wants to do it? Big Blue? I guess they're not Big Blue. They call themselves Big Blue?
I think they call themselves. We have a lot of Michigan fans in our chat. Like they should be able to tell us, right?
It's Go Blue. I know that.
It's Go Blue.
It's Go
Big
Blue.
Blue is Kentucky.
Big Blue.
Are you going to fire it?
Yeah, absolutely. 2.5.
Michigan plus.
Yeah, Michigan plus 2.5.
I'm trying to see if I can find you a 3, but I don't think I can.
I think those got blasted on.
Yeah,
Tuesday?
there's no 3.
Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday it ran out. There was like a little 3.5 earlier in the week. I was quite surprised. I want to do this. Screw it. Why not? I'm going to bet team totals in both these games, both from our friends at FanDuel. Give me South Carolina under 21.5 and also Washington under 21.5. I think both these defenses are pretty good. So
I'm kind of in line with you on that. Give me the Michigan-Washington under 42. Wait, let me see the juice. Yeah, no, that's too heavy juice. 41.5.
Yeah. So that game could go quick. We got a couple games that I feel like will not go quick in this night slate.
Tennessee, Arkansas won't be fast.
No, it'll take forever.
That'll be 7 day long.
Although I will say there's a chance we can still go. Like I'm trying to do like are we 11:30, or 11:15? Like if Tennessee, Arkansas.
No, we don't have that discussion, bud. We're not adding any stress to a Saturday with trying to figure out a start time. Okay, we have to accomplish our tasks.
Bro, I got to know what time to steep. Okay, I got to steep the nighttime tea, and I got to time it up right. So like if Tennessee has this thing rocking chair easy by the end of the first half, and Michigan, Washington is cruising because they're throwing a lot of screens being tackled. Michigan just doesn't even believe in the forward pass. Then like that steep schedule leads to the sleep schedule, right? So that we got to figure this out.
Okay. Danny, you are just hemming and hawing over there.
Is it my internet connection or is it me? I don't know.
It's
it might be both.
It is clear. I can see.
I am definitely shook. Are we opening up the board? I know it's not me.
Okay, so you're not going to take anything Michigan, Washington. It looks like you.
No, because it's going to be no.
Okay.
I don't want that many locks with Tom.
Right.
I do not want to do it. That's where I was leaning. I will not lock that one up.
Okay. Coming up on the other side, we'll open up the card for all the rest of our Saturday locks plus money line sprinkles. Next. Let's do a quick review of the locks we got on the board so far. Bud's got Texas State minus 13, Sam Houston, UTEP first half over 24.5, Houston team total over 16.5, Clemson, Florida State first half under 24, Houston team total over 16.5, Tennessee minus 13.5, Washington team total under 21.5. Chips got Missouri plus 2.5, Syracuse UNLV over 58, Sam Houston minus 10, Navy minus 9.5, Ohio State Iowa over 44.5, Tennessee first quarter minus 3.5, Georgia Auburn first half under 28, Michigan plus 2.5. Discipline Danny's got Texas A&M minus 1.5, TCU Houston under 52, Missouri Texas A&M under 48.5, Ohio State minus 19. Tom's got Texas State minus 13, TCU Houston under 52, Missouri Texas A&M under 48.5, Ohio State minus 19, Tennessee minus 13.5, Ole Miss South Carolina under 52.5, Michigan Washington under 41.5, Navy Air Force under 37. Okay, Danny, board's open.
Let's go. Pitt coming off a bye week.
Yeah.
Top 5 offense in the country, going to Chapel Hill. I don't know what's going on with that in Chapel Hill, but Eli Holstein and company, they're going to go in and they're going to get the win. Lay the 2.5. Give me Pitt.
Trying to find it. I can't even.
Yeah, there's a couple.
All right.
Including our friends at FanDuel.
There it is. All right, cool. Pitt minus 2.5.
Let me see. This is the rivalry right here. Let's see. I think Pat Narduzzi would absolutely love to win this game. And obviously we're talking about Pat Narduzzi here, but there was a run here. All right. 26-19, 37-36, 34-31, 38-35, 34-27, 30-23. Like there have been some tight games between these two. So Carolina's gotten the best of them in the last couple. We'll see. We'll see how that ends up going. An old ACC coastal rivalry renewed. All right, bud, what you want?
I don't know yet. Have you done anything with this Wake game?
No. Heavens to Betsy, no.
Okay, all right.
Wake State? No.
All right.
Who's happy? Okay, I'm somebody that's attracted to joy. Who's happy around
Nobody's
that?
happy now. No, I agree.
Speaking of, actually, this is a mean-spirited play. I feel bad for this one, especially after all that talk. But if there's 27.5 with Penn State, or even if there's 28, I'll take it. UCLA is.
There's 27 out there.
27. Let's go.
27.
Yeah, I had
Lock agreement because I can't let you get a further lead on me with that one. That one's a great one.
This is like
The true spirit of friendship.
UCLA is in a rough spot, and after the way that last week went against Illinois, I don't see any reason why they're going to hold back from just being able to go and throw haymakers at this UCLA defense.
It is a look ahead because they play USC next week, I believe, on CBS.
I think so. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's a hell of a game, by the way. Yeah, I like that one.
All right. Tom?
I've got like 5 possible games left here.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6 left.
Jesus.
We're gonna beer till 2.
I know. Wow, it's gonna be my next birthday by the time we're done with this show. I am going with Army first quarter minus 2.5. Just
I like that.
They have come out on fire. I mentioned on the show yesterday, they have scored a touchdown at every single opening possession of the season for themselves. They're playing Tulsa, who I don't have a whole ton of faith in. Like, I am worried that Tulsa gets the ball and scores and kills me here, but I do like the odds of Army having at least a 3-point lead after this quarter. So there we go.
That's probably a good one, I think. Chip?
Louisville minus 6.5 against SMU.
Lock agreement.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, we got a unity.
Let's go.
Talking with some people around horse country. They're coming out of South Bend with like disappointment, but confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like we cleaned this up. Could have won that game. And that's against a defense that is way better than SMU's.
Who is the best offense SMU has faced?
Jeez. Is it the Hebrew Mormon? Jake Ratzlaff?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in the game that star running back LJ Martin got hurt in.
Yeah.
And BYU's game plan, as the broadcast said, was to run him 25 times. So is Louisville's offense better than an all-star team you could put together of all of the offenses faced so far by SMU?
We got a lot of locks left.
I'm just saying,
it's a good Wednesday. I like
you
that
make like a
Wednesday
Frankenstein
question.
monster of like BYU's offense, FSU's offense, Nevada's offense, and what they play, Houston Baptist or
something like that.
I think I might take Louisville.
Yeah. So yeah, give me the cards right there, Danny.
Oh, TCU. Excuse me. TCU actually is good. Yes.
Yeah. Danny.
Let me go to. I'm gonna go to the practice field.
Oh yeah.
It worked before. Indiana's balanced under 41.5. I don't know if they're going to be able to throw it as much. If it's windy out there, that does affect an aerial attack. I do think Indiana's defense is pretty good too. I thought the number was a little bit too big. I was thinking about laying them with Indiana, but I'll just take the under.
Tried to find you 42, but there's too much juice on it. Sorry.
I thought about this too. This is one of the definitely like the windy games. Tom, surprised you don't have any wonders this week.
I might.
Ooh. You going Rutgers?
I am. Hold on one second. I got to update this real quick. I've got Houston on here twice for you, bud, and locks pods for somehow.
You are missing SMU or what are you missing? South Carolina team total over? No, we got that.
No, I got that on there.
You got Tennessee on there twice. I don't know. We will roll the tape.
We'll go back and we'll figure this out. Sorry. No, my last two. I've got two actually here. I've got Purdue, Wisconsin under 45.5 and USC, Minnesota under 51.
I've got a pick. It's like I started with it on Tuesday and I continue to stand by it, but I'm a little bit queasy, but that's what Dramamine's for. I'll lay them with the Trojans.
Ooh.
I think the second half against Wisconsin was so informative. We talked about it on the reaction pod. We've talked about it a little bit during this week. I just don't think that Minnesota has the dudes that USC losing is fulfilling everyone who's going to be like, you trusted USC on the road? You know, like, and if I wear that egg on my face, then whatever. But I think this is a matchup problem for Minnesota that USC will be able to exploit in what I do think will be a tough situation. But we talked a lot about how USC's got to get used to the Big Ten. Big Ten's got to get used to some of the athletes that a team like USC has too.
Agreed.
Sorry, I'm doing document.
Okay.
Here, trying to figure out what game of Buds I missed.
I got one.
What do you got?
Give me Cal. 10.5 across the country. I mean, they're still traveling. I don't know if they've left yet. Miami's they're eventually going to get there. It's Cal's defense. I think Miami had an interesting game last week against Virginia Tech, right? We all watched it unfold. It's one of those, what are you really? I would have felt better about this play had they blown out Virginia Tech, but I also think Justin Wilcox, a really good defensive-minded coach. I think they'll have a game plan to contain Cam Ward. And if I'm getting 10.5, I think the Cal team is very physical too. Curious to see how Miami responds to the physicality of Cal.
I'll take
I
it.
laid this at 9.5 on Tuesday when it got there, but like that's the only thing I was like, I'll bet Miami under single digit or under double digits, and I would take Cal at 14.
I'll take Cal 10.5. Let's go. How many?
Oh,
wrong one. So, what did we say? 2 games against Cam Ward for Justin Wilcox. One went well, one did not.
That's
Well, I mean, we've talked about this game all week. I mean, it's like, so Cal wants to drag you into a rock fight. We're going to test the discipline of a Miami team that finally showed it can be undisciplined. The whoopsie daisy crept up. Are you all of a sudden going to bottle it back and not be able to, oh no, we're going to play clean football again. Like, I think that this is absolutely a spot. And while the Cal online fan base has received a lot of flowers, I would be stunned if at a minimum, the students don't use this big spotlight opportunity to try to make it look like something. I mean, we have seen these programs where we always think that it's sleepy. And the second that they get that kind of big stage, if you're a college kid, you're going to answer, you know? I mean, what were they throwing on the field? As long as the Cal students don't throw flyers on the field and cause 2 15-yard personal foul penalties, then we should be good. So Cal students, behave yourself. Don't give your team personal foul penalties. But I think they show up, and I think that it'll be a unique environment for a Miami team that has not had to go on the road like this in a long, long time.
What's
Also,
what's the total for protests? 2.5, under, over?
I mean,
FanDuel props section here. That's a hard one to grade because, like, how many people constitute that's your trading team is probably not loving having to figure out how to grade that, and people are going to send you screenshots and stuff.
Shout out to Kyle in the chat. If his record keeping is correct, we're not missing any of your locks, bud.
Perfect.
I think I doubled one up while I was moving stuff around.
Gotcha. Lee in the chat is mad at CBS for going all in on the Big Ten since nobody wants to talk the Deep South oldest rivalry. You know you should be angry at? Auburn for not getting a quarterback in the transfer portal.
Hey, but Deuce Knight,
that's why the line is 24.5 or whatever. Like, yes, they did get Deuce Knight, by the way, which Cover 3 podcast listeners have known for a long time was going to happen. My guess here is that since Auburn's playing so poorly, the price went up, but they still got it. So,
also, we did pick the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
Yeah,
we
talked about it.
We talked about how we don't
first half under 28.
Yeah. I was reading some of our NFL draft stuff. People really like how Carson Beck played in that game overall, actually. And they think some of the poor play in the first half was on the receivers and not on him. So I'm curious if that continues.
Yeah,
I have not watched it
the
yet.
dentist does not think so.
Yeah.
I've got 2 more plays.
What you got?
South Alabama -3 against Arkansas State. I liked it better earlier. I got it at 2.5. It's at 3 now. I will still take it. I think when you look at the Sun Belt right now, James Madison is good. South Alabama, I'm pretty convinced, is good. I really don't have a ton of faith in anybody else. So give me the Jaguars there.
I mean, this game was lined at 15 last year.
Yeah.
Arkansas State has had some guys out. Like, they were a clear laydown mode, I think. Not that they tried to lose the game. They just preservation for conference season. I get that. So, I mean, are these teams are almost 2 touchdowns different than they were last year?
I don't think so. But
like, is South Al 2 touchdowns worse? Is Arkansas State actually better?
No, I don't think so. I think South Alabama's got the 2 best players in the game, like just on both sides of the ball in the entire roster. And I think having the best players and them being the quarterback and the running back are probably good for you.
I do like Jalen Raynor. There is a chance that this South Alabama defense is hot trash, and they just got a favorable game script against App State. But he hasn't had that many good games against like reasonably competent defenses. Like last year, I'm trying to think because we bet them, I think, against when they played at UMass last year, and UMass was down like all 4 members of the secondary. Remember, it was like, oh guys, this is kind of a hammer spot. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I kind of like that, but I got it at 2.5. So
yeah.
The missing lock was the Washington team total under 21.5, I believe, according to
It's on there.
Chat. That's on there. I think we're good.
And my final lock is Baylor-Iowa State under 45. Just unders in Iowa State, just like a warm blanket.
I'm kind of right. I got 2 left. I'm sort of riding there with you, but I'm just gonna hit Baylor. Baylor team total under 16.5. You got something there too?
I'll just take Iowa State and lay the 11.5. White out.
The week Baylor quits.
I think
do.
so.
Okay.
Chip, what was the number you got on that team total?
16.5.
All right. And Danny's just taking Iowa State.
And I was thinking about it too. With a team like Baylor, 16 might be in play. I mean, You got catch a lot of field goals, like all of a sudden you could be looking at a 16. It could be out there. And then my last one, Boise team total over 47.5. There's a 46.5. I'll take it. Boise State playing Utah State. And as long as Ashton Jeanty is healthy, I do not foresee them putting the brakes on. They are beating the brakes off. That's kind of the way that goes. So 46.
What number were you hunting, Chip?
I've got it as 47.5 written down here, but I know there might have been, I think I saw some 46.5 after I locked it in. So yeah, chip line value.
I'm looking here at what FanDuel's got. Also, plead to FanDuel that to have a drop-down style menu showing all the team totals as opposed to having to click on the individual game. That'd be helpful for in-show production because the scraper doesn't work. So I got to click on each one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that will have me tapped out. Anyone else?
With only
I got one more.
2, 3, 4.
It's 14.
Wow.
I got one that just barely missed the watch list. Okay. And I was looking at this and I'm like, man, this is a banger of a game, but I got to leave it off. I am going to go, and this is kind of sick, by the way. I'm going to go UL Lafayette, Southern Miss, under 58. I think it's Rodemaker playing. They definitely don't like him. They want to run the ball. ULL has been a team that you can run the ball on. ULL's defense rates terribly, but if you actually watched it, I mean, Tulane had a special teams and like a defensive score or score setup off those two things. Their ULL's run D is kind of poor, so I just think the drop off. I mean, they just played Tulane's offense, which is legitimately pretty damn good, and they played Wake's offense, which I personally think is rounding into 4. So the drop off to Southern Miss here to me is kind of pretty big, and I'm going to go ahead and take the under here. Maybe Southern Miss gives me some slow field goal drives.
You just don't need you're fighting the turnovers.
Turnovers.
Fighting turnovers, short fields.
You want to see in this game? I want to see Southern Miss go back to the super back. Remember when they just ran Wildcat all game? That is
Frank
exactly.
Gore? Well, that's the problem is they don't have Frank Gore.
How about just the decent back? We don't have to be super. Just something. There's just the non-quarterback back.
All right,
the serviceable back.
Are there any others where we hit a break, recap, and do money line sprinkles?
I want to throw one more on. Yeah, I can't pass up this opportunity. I'm going to lay 9 with Western Michigan at Ball State. I think there's a chance that Ball State is just as bad as Akron and pretty close to Kent State. And that if Central Michigan could catch some kickoffs and not play complete, just not play like they did, we might have a better handle on this. So this might be the last week to really get Ball State at a price at which they're not priced like Kent State, Akron bad.
I think there's a bottom 3 in the mode. That is a hazmat suit.
Yeah, that is pretty sick. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Coming up on the other side, we'll recap our full locks card for week 6, plus our money line sprinkles. Next.
A Quiet Place Day 1 is now streaming on Paramount Plus. It's thrilling, terrifying. It will make your heart pound out of your chest. A Quiet Place Day 1, now streaming.
Can I just jump in here a little bit of breaking news that really won't impact anything, but it's kind of funny. Antonio Pierce, 8-year show cause for the Arizona State violations. I have not read the details, but an 8-year show cause suggests there were some rules broken.
Did you see the chart that shows the decision EPA, not what the result was, but what the expected result was, showing that Antonio Pierce is breaking the model for how bad his in-game decisions are?
He's breaking the model and he's breaking the law, apparently.
Yeah, it's he's that zoom out guy where you got to zoom out your chart, otherwise you want to close crop it because it's so far off the.
Yeah, but
the
have
norm.
you ever met Antonio Pierce? Like, if I'm a coach and he's telling me to do something, I'm just like, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you want, sir. You tell
It'd
me.
be like
I'm
if Charles
gonna
Oakley
do it.
coached the Knicks.
Yeah. Great call. All right, let's review
NBA reference. Yeah, I got you.
the locks we got on the board. An NBA reference from the 90s.
I just had to watch it now.
All right, hey, what team does Kevin Durant play for right now, bud?
The Clippers.
Phoenix Suns. Close enough. All
Right
right,
conference.
He was on the Thunder for a little while.
He was.
So
I'm the Sonics too. People forget that.
I had no idea. The Sonics still exist?
No.
Okay.
He was there as a rookie, and then they became the Thunder.
Bud's got.
I don't think I can name all 28 NBA teams.
There's more than 28. There's 30.
Okay, then I definitely if I can't get 28, I can't get 30.
But it's like the Orlando Magic.
Bud Scott. Louisville -6.5, Texas State -13, Sam Houston UTEP first half over 24.5, Houston team total over 16.5, Clemson Florida State first half under 24, Tennessee -13.5, Penn State -27, Washington team total under 21.5, South Carolina team total under 21.5, Louisiana Southern Miss under 58, and Western Michigan -9. I am on. Louisville -6.5, Missouri +2.5, Syracuse UNLV over 58, Sam Houston -10, Navy -9.5, Ohio State Iowa over 44.5, Penn State -27, Cal +10.5, Michigan +2.5, Tennessee first quarter -3.5, USC -8, Georgia Auburn first half under 28, Baylor team total under 16.5, Boise team total over 47.5. Danny's got Louisville -6.5, Texas A&M -1.5, TCU Houston under 52, Missouri Texas A&M under 48.5, Ohio State -19, Pitt -2.5, Indiana Northwestern under 41.5, Cal +10.5, and Iowa State -11.5. And Tom is on. Army first quarter -2.5, Texas State -13, TCU Houston under 52, Missouri Texas A&M under 48.5, Ohio State -19, Tennessee -13.5, Ole Miss South Carolina under 52.5, Michigan Washington under 41.5, Navy Air Force under 37, Purdue Wisconsin under 45.5, USC Minnesota under 51, South Al -3, and Baylor Iowa State under 45.
My bad, Chip. Every Big Ten fan who doesn't root for Purdue understands what PU stands for.
I get the joke. It caught me off guard. Okay. And this Moneyline Sprinkles segment is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Let's take a look at our sprinkles from last week. Bud had Louisville out there, Houston out there, both came home as losses. I had Arizona out there, spite pick. Spite pick is a winner against Utah. Washington State did not get the job done. Danny cashed on TCU, cashed on Alabama, took an L on Louisville, Florida State, and Auburn. And then Tom cashed with Colorado +455, cashed with TCU, took a loss on Illinois, Louisville, and Cincinnati. The records for Moneyline Sprinkles on the season: Chip 7-7 at up 9.85 units. Tom 8-12 up 5.45 units. Bud 1-8 just down 5 units, and Danny 5-14 down 8.16 units. We will begin in Columbia with Cocktober. Give me South Carolina to make bad things worse for the Rebels. 1 loss turns into 2. We are sprinkling the Gamecocks. Came close against LSU. Can they learn their lesson and finish the job? South Carolina. And I think that'll be it for me for sprinkles this week.
I have 5.
All right.
I will start with Friday night action. Give me Syracuse +217. Sorry, just Power League against a G5 on the road, getting that much, juice. I'll take it. Mizzou +120 against the 12th man. West Virginia +135 against
Oklahoma State. Yeah, that
Oklahoma
game.
State, yeah, just
No one deserves to be favored in that game. That is a no one deserves
exactly.
to be favored game. I get that.
Exactly.
I hear that.
And then Michigan plus 120 on the road against Washington. And finally, I don't need the 10.5 stinking ass points. Give me Cal plus 355.
Hey, can I add Michigan too? I mean, I'm taking them plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously think they're going to win. I'll take Michigan too.
Plus 120 there for Michigan. All right. Is it Danny or me? I think it's Danny.
What's that?
I think it's Danny, right?
Yeah, I'll go. Give me Texas Tech.
Arizona.
Little Big 12 after dark. Plus 210. Baron Morton, 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Arizona's coming off a nice win against Utah. Maybe feeling themselves a little bit. Texas Tech's been pretty good. I'll take them. Give me the Gators. If I'm wrong and the streak continues, I can celebrate anyway because it is the Gators. Give me Kansas.
Thought about
on
it.
the road at Arizona State plus 120. That's it.
All right, Bud.
Give me the boys in Boone. That's been a rough week for them. Let's go get one. Plus 148. Agree with Danny there on Texas Tech. I don't know that I truly believe they're going to win, but to me, that very much could be a who has the ball last type situation. So plus 210 feels a little heavy there. And give me Wake.
Ooh.
Like, of all the things in this game, the one I have the most confidence in, I think, is Wake's offense. They've scored against everybody who's not Ole Miss. I think I can go in there and get that
190.
Yeah.
Rounding into form is appropriate because they looked lost at the start of the season. They've gotten better. It's weird.
They lost
Dave
ULL.
Clawson, who would have thought? Dave Clawson, good football coach. They improve as the season goes on. Stunner.
I will say the NC State D lineman who opted out for the season, he hasn't played. Like there's a reason Pete Thamel tweeted his stats from last year because this year he hasn't been worth a damn.
Speaking of NC State defensive lineman, shout out to Davin Van. He has been doing a drive. You mentioned App State there. He's been doing a drive for supplies. Best I can for those listeners that are in the state of North Carolina. There's going to be a lot of time to give, and there's going to be a lot of like good financial rebuilding. But like right now, survival time. Whether it's Operation Airdrop, whether it's at NC State, I know they were doing a drop off. It has been a supplies week. It actually made me feel really good. I went to Costco to go buy a couple of big boxes of diapers to go do a drop off, and I swear more than half the people in the checkout lines were just like huge pallets of supplies. Like they were not buying for their household; they were buying to get stuff to send out to Western North Carolina. The State Employees Credit Union, every single branch in the state of North Carolina has a drop-off site to be able to send supplies out there. So yeah, right now it's about stuff, and then they will definitely need your financial support as well when it comes time to rebuild. But it is it's still really tough out there in Western North Carolina. So I love the vibes on App State being able to go out there and get one against Marshall for sure. And that Moneyline Sprinkles segment was brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. All right. Danny, that was almost like a recap. I mean, that was almost an instant reaction length of a show. You could.
That's a long one right there. It's going to be a 1.5 show for most people. 1.5 speed.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. So speaking of, we will be back Saturday night, probably around 11:30. I mean, just set your notifications or just come and hang out. Like when we do start the show, it's going to be when like all those sort of that night window wraps up and the conversation is going, So like just jump in, hang out, talk with everybody in the tailgate, and then we will get the thing started live. Of course, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Got some special stuff coming up here in the next little bit once we hit a certain landmark when it comes to the subscribers. So again, subscribe, turn your notifications on. We'll have some fun stuff for you in the future. And watch Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon for college football pregame. CBS Sports HQ. Danny will be on CBS Sports Network tonight, and keep your eyes on it. We will as well. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fernelli. You can follow him at BudElliott3. You can follow him at Danny Cannell. You can follow me at Chip_Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Bounce back Saturday.